Do you ever feel like there's just not enough space in your house? Well, me too. So this project's going to be all about ingenious storage solutions. I have some absolutely chaotic spaces in my house, under the sink in the kitchen and under the sink in the bathroom. Like, how am I supposed to get anything out of here? So let's work it out together with some superhero vibes. This time I'm Deadpool. I will not be wearing this weird mask. I'm going to start on underneath the kitchen sink first. And like with every project, I always start with clearing the space. Ew. My goal for this project is just to be able to access the things that I need a little bit easier. And so to do that, I asked myself the question, what do I actually need to use this space for? So I took everything out and I organized it by category. And this way I could get rid of duplicates, move anything that wasn't supposed to be in there, throw away things that were expired or empty. I was going to get mad that people keep putting stuff back in here that's empty, and then I remembered that I live alone. Thing is, this cupboard is a very unusual shape, and to be able to make best use of it, I have to draw out a plan. I realised that if I moved this water boiler over from here to the other side, I'd be able to run some drawer runners down the side and create some sort of pull-out drawer. So I thought I'd test it out and see if it worked, and by utilising the dead space behind the U-bends, I'm going to free up so much space. This is how it looked before, and this is how it looks now.
Ew, so pretty.
I'm going to make this pull-out drawer in here, hopefully utilising some of the materials that I already have.
3, 2, 1, there we go. To be able to make a drawer in this cupboard, I had to create some clearance for the door. I did this by measuring the depth of the cupboard and minused about 5mm so that the drawer would sit slightly back from the door. I sanded down and painted the pieces of wood and added some drill holes for the screws. I drilled these mounts directly into the cupboards and added the drawer runners. And as you can see, there's now enough clearance for when I add the drawer.
And next I'll be working out how to actually make this weirdly shaped drawer.
Deadpool DIY. Let's go! If you're building your own undersink storage, you can probably buy a drawer that's ready-made and make your life easier. I'm going to build one from scrap wood. I measured and cut all of the pieces, leaving a 5mm gap around the boiler. And I used pocket holes to screw it together. Once I'd pieced all the bits together, it looked like this. I didn't have any plyboard for the bottom, so I stole some off of a piece of furniture. And I just started to nail it on when I ran out of time for today. Oh, look at all that space. We can't have that going to waste, so I made a drawer. I currently have no base for it. I was having some trouble with this part of the drawer that I made yesterday. It was a bit too fiddly, so I made a more sensible piece. To hang the drawers, you pull out the runner and there's always a little lever that you pull down. You want to take this piece off and screw it onto the drawer. Make sure there's going to be a gap between the bottom of the drawer and the bottom of the cupboard. When you first put it on, you might find it needs a little bit of a shove, but after that, it should go in nice and smoothly. More in the secret drawer tomorrow. The secret drawer under the sink. Let me catch you up. I popped off the kickboards and I removed the legs. This unit is secured to the side panels, so it wasn't using them. I measured the space and cut out 4 pieces, which I made into a drawer. And I used the kickboard for the front. And now we're all caught up. Today, I finally found some plyboard that I could use for the bottom. I secured it with some nails and I added a handle to the front. Added some drawer runners underneath the unit and boom, we have a drawer. Tomorrow, I'll be showing you what I'm doing with the other drawer in the main part of the unit. Just installed this secret drawer. Now, how to make the most out of the space in the cupboard. I often buy in bulk, but these jumbo sized ones are too big for the cupboard. So I'm going to store those in the pantry, and I found some smaller tubs to put the product in. I also have some old pickling jars that I can use for my washing powder.
But if you do something like this, make sure you properly label them so everyone in the household knows what they are.
I stuck some command hooks inside of the cupboard and hung these baskets, and there was space on the door for me to hang more things. I even managed to sneak something beside the sink by using these Velcro command hooks.
Now that I know everything fits, I want to finish these drawers properly with some paint. I have these wood dowels. I'm going to use these to fill in the holes that I created when making these pocket holes. Sometimes it doesn't fill the entire hole, so if this happens, you can fill it in with some wood filler afterwards. Next, I'm using a wood primer that's designed especially for that first layer on wood. When it's raw wood, it soaks up a lot of moisture, so having a primer which is less expensive can be a really good way to start. The last job for today was to give the hardware a light sand before spray painting.
Last time on this DIY follow-along project, we were sanding down the hardware on the drawers. This is so when you use spray paint, there's something for it to key to. Otherwise, it just chips off. After priming the wooden drawers, I added a top coat. All of the hardware went back on, and this is what the final secret drawer looks like. You can make the drawer even more secret by using runners that have a spring, so when you kick your foot against it, it pops out. And there's one home storage solution finished.